Apple employees threaten to quit as company takes hardline stance on remote work. I heard about this. I heard about petitions, and I saw something going on Twitter. A particular user was saying, hey, I did a good job. Don't tell me where I got to work. In June, Apple announced a hybrid work schedule that will see employees return to the office for 3 days a week starting in September, a shift toward normal corporate operations after the pandemic forced a lengthy work-from-home period. Days later, participants of what is assumed to be the same remote work advocacy Slack channel cited by The Verge asked more flexibility, saying that working from home brings a number of benefits, including greater diversity and inclusion in retention and hiring, tearing down previously existing communication barriers, better work-life balance, better integration of existing remote. You get the idea. Some people are saying that I really enjoy this remote work. I set up my life around this remote work. I thought this remote work thing could go on for a while, or my performance is fine. Why should we have to make a change here? Well, Apple came out, Tim and others, and they said, look, you got to be in here. Core is collaboration is the core. We believe that in-person collaboration is essential to our culture and our future. This is the quote. Who made this quote? The SVP of Retail and People, Deirdre O'Brien. The company line, in-person collaboration is essential. I don't know what you're feeling on this, Will. Do you need to be in person? Is in-person collaboration essential for Willie Do, or could you make it happen remotely?
Well, working here, I think you have to be in person, right? Collaboration, in person, face to face. Wow. You can't do it over Slack.
It's very old-fashioned. Very old-fashioned of you.
Yeah.
But what about if you worked at Apple? Would you be on the side making the push for remote work, or would you be eager to get back into the spaceship, infinite loop?
I don't mind their hybrid model. Personally, I think 3 days a week working there, it's a nice change in environment. But
the only thing I could think is that some people may have made life decisions. And again, it's not like Apple told them to, but I could assume that maybe some people made life decisions based on that remote work transition, because it's been going on for so long now that maybe some people that previously had better proximity to headquarters or made arrangements for their kids, for example, under the pretense that this remote work thing may go on longer, or at the time it was indefinite. Nobody knew exactly how long it would go on for, given COVID situation and all that. So I can imagine people needing to reconfigure their lives to make this work. Some may have even left the Bay Area completely in order to save money, rearrange their lives. Very expensive place to be.
Yeah,
where Apple is located. So I don't know if some concessions can be made, or there's some sort of way to help fix it up. And I know there's not going to be a lot of sympathy out here, because people are saying, you got a job at Apple, you're doing just fine. What you mean you can't get there 3 days? Somebody's saying that. But what if the work, the caliber of work is identical, and the person who's working remotely is achieving at the exact same rate as they would have been, or maybe even better for that matter, maybe because it's just the way they are.
Yeah.
Are you still enforcing it if you're Tim?
I wouldn't. No. I would give them the freedom to, choose work from home forever if they wanted to.
I suppose.
And if their performance is, better or the same, then, But I do agree with Apple in a sense of like, collaboration is always good face to face, right? To me, I feel like, when I talk to Jack or Kirk, it's better if it was in person, because there's a lot of like lag time when it comes to video calls or phone calls.
Talking about Ryan now?
And Ryan, yeah.
That's our remote.
It's just
Ryan's the remote
guy. It's just tougher
guy
that way.
Yeah, but see,
but
so
it depends on what you do.
For me, from a management perspective, the main consideration here is setting up rules that are applicable to everyone and not selective. So obviously, if one person says, I'm doing just fine, I want to work from home, that works really well for me, they have to look at this potential scenario, or at least consider a potential scenario where everybody says that, and what then happens to their culture in that situation. there are certain elements as well when you're working for a high profile company like them, things relating to secrecy around products and the launching of products, where you would have certain access inside of the facility to certain areas. You may have certain files that are stored in a particular way. And so there could be advantages there as well that I'm imagining. But ultimately, it's you have so many employees. They all want to do something different. It's kind of an impossible task to sort out how to satisfy all groups without alienating some other one.
Correct.
Because the minute you start making these concessions, then other people who may not be in exactly the same boat, they may perceive it the same way and then say, hey, I want the same thing. And then all of a sudden you've got an empty, infinite loop building. And you're like, wait a second. That's not what we had.
Why did we build this again?
That's not what we had in mind. But hey, there are examples like Shopify. They just got rid of their office. They said, welp, everybody's remote.
Yeah.
And in some ways that's easier. Just say everybody's remote then. Because then it's less of a conversation around it. But there are people who hate remote as well. And so there are some that could be celebrating this hybrid movement.